Hello, my fellow MALT 610 friends. First of all, let me apologize I could not be with you today. As you may or may not know, the life of a high school band director is a busy one this time of year. Saturdays in October and November are not free days for us band director folks. So that's why I couldn't be here today. I'm actually at a band review. I'm at one of the biggest marching band competitions of the year today, happened to be today. So I am at that event today and not with you in class. But I still wanted to be able to present my findings of my research project, which I'm calling Playing Music in the Classroom. My research question is, does playing music in the classroom affect student performance and attitude? Does just simply having background music playing affect the students in any way? And that's what I set out to discover when I did this project. I thought it was very fitting for a music teacher to do that. It's taking place at my school, Orange Vista High School, brand new high school in Paris, California. Happy to be here, go Coyotes. The class that I'm doing it in is one of my 3 music appreciation classes. This one happens to be all 9th grade students. And instead of trying to only pick 3 or 4 students, I'm actually just doing it with the entire class. The entire class took the survey, the entire class did the activity, and it just gave me more of an overview of the entire class as far as how this research turned out. As far as for data collection, like I said, I used mostly a survey to kind of get a feel for what the students were feeling and thinking as they did this activity. Pulled some samples of student work to show the difference between music and no music, and then of course teacher observations. I just would watch the class as we went through this activity. What this activity is, just so you know, every day it's kind of a bell work activity. There's a quote up on the board, either by a musician or about music, and their job is just to respond to it. They get about 5 to 7 minutes to just respond to that activity, or excuse me, to respond to that quote. And we do it every day, so it's just part of our everyday routine. But then I integrated having music playing versus having music not playing to see if there was any effect on the way the students acted, on how they felt about the activity, things like that. So that's what the intervention was. Post-intervention, again, the same surveys kind of throughout. I asked the same surveys throughout. Again, student work and my own observations of what happened as they were participating in the activity. The data analysis, the things that I found. Overall, yes, playing music does help. And I think we all kind of know that, but it was just interesting to see it play out in the actual data that I collected. Most of this came, like I said, from surveys. I gave them the survey once. There was 4 questions on the survey. One of them had to do with the effort that they put forth. One of them had to do with how focused they were on completing the assignment, how satisfied they were with their own work, and then how they felt about the assignment. Did they enjoy doing it? Did they not do it? Did they wish we didn't have to do it? And where they fell on that survey. As you see, beginning, for the most part, things were positive. 67% focus, 61% satisfaction, 49% enjoyed the activity. About half the class enjoyed doing it. Effort was a little bit low. They didn't feel like they were doing a whole lot of work. They just kind of did it. Most of them were neutral. They did enough to finish the assignment, but could have done more. After a couple weeks, or after about a week of doing the assignment with music playing, I did the survey again, and I did it twice to get some varying data. As you can see, adding music, the effort went from 27% up to 45%. So most students felt like they were doing more work. The focus, how focused they were, went from 67% up to 70%. Again, they were able to be more focused. They felt they were more focused. Satisfaction stayed about the same, excuse me. It went down a little bit on the positive responses, but the neutral responses also went down. So it really didn't change much. They felt like they were they were okay with the work they did. The overall attitude went from 49% positive to 56% positive. Just having music playing, the students seemed to enjoy doing the activity more. Then what I did is we kept doing the same activity, but I took music out. So they had to do it with no music. They were just on their own to complete the assignment. The effort actually went up, which I found very interesting. The positive answers to the effort. But if you notice, the neutral, people that were neutral went down. And then the negative also went down. So they did the assignment. They did what they had to complete it. Some people felt better about it, some people didn't, but it really didn't change all that much. The focus went from 70% down to 64%. It was harder for them to focus. Less people were focused. The negative stayed about the same. The neutral on focus went from 23 to 27. So more people felt like they just kind of did it. Satisfaction went from 59% to 57, also a drop. And the attitude, how they felt about doing the activity, went from 56% down to 55%. So less people enjoyed it. And you'll notice over here, the satisfaction went from 6% negative to 3% negative, 13% negative to 12% negative. The biggest change is in the people that were neutral. 34% were neutral here, 40% neutral here. More people were just kind of doing the activity because they had to. They weren't happy with it, they weren't disappointed by it, they just kind of did it. But there were definite changes as music was taken out of the picture and out of the process. Which, like I said, I think we all know that, but it was just interesting to see the data actually play out that way. So my conclusions: when background music is added to an activity, the effort, focus, and attitude of students all showed an increase in positive results. The satisfaction of students' work stayed about the same. They didn't like it or dislike what they actually produced anymore. So when the music was removed from the activity, there was a decrease of positive results in the focus, satisfaction, and attitude of the students. How focused they were, how happy they were with what they did, and just the enjoyment overall all went down without having music playing. And the number of students that felt neutral also went up in those same areas. So either they felt less good about it, or they just didn't care as much. And then lastly, the data shows that playing music during class time can increase a student's attitude, effort, and focus. So adding music absolutely is a tool that teachers can use to help with those things, which is one of the things that I have in my reflection. I gain insight